Now, US President Joe Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping held a phone call yesterday, the first interaction the leaders have had in months, or since November. Look, the diplomatic relationship has been problematic, as you'd expect, although the call was described by the White House as, let's have a look at what the White House had to say, as candid and constructive. No detail as per usual. They did reportedly clash over the South China Sea economic issues, Taiwan. Michael, you know, there are questions over Biden's handling of the China relationship, and this is a key point, or this is one of Trump's main arguments about why he'd do a better job. He says he'd be more intimidating to the likes of Vladimir Putin and Xi. What do you think?
I think that's right. I mean, the Chinese, as we know, play the long game. So they have a call with Biden. Is that a good thing? Absolutely, it's a good thing. International dialogue between countries who don't get on that well, of course it's a good thing. But they're just waiting him out. They're waiting till November to see him defeated, and then they'll move on to dealing with the next person. So they've gone through the motions. Is Trump more intimidating? Yeah, of course he's more intimidating for all the reasons we know and we've seen. And I can see him doing something on the Ukraine with Putin, which may well resolve that conflict. I think it presumably will result in some part of the Ukraine in the east there being given to Russia, but I think he probably will be able to settle that dispute. I mean, that's the type of person he is. He's the art of the deal, as we know. But as far as the Chinese are concerned, they're just waiting Biden out.
Yeah. I mean, Richo, this is really one of the things that the rest of the world does care about when it comes to whoever will be the next president of the United States. You know, how they'll manage these international conflicts, Russia, Ukraine, the Middle East, the threat of Iran, and the threat of China, because we know that Xi is highly ambitious. He does want to invade or reunify with Taiwan. He's stated these ambitions publicly. So this foreign policy is actually a critical part, and we need to hear more, not that we have a say in who the next president will be, but we really need to hear more from both Biden and Trump about how they will deal with these challenges.
Well, we do. I mean, if you look at Taiwan, that's the issue in the world that could spark a war. More than any other issue, more than anything in the Middle East, the Taiwan problem remains. And it's a huge problem because you've got two sides absolutely dug in, and trying to get a compromise from that is well nigh impossible. There's bugger all chance of it, frankly. So we have to sit there and look at this precipice and say, are we going to jump over? And there are a lot of lemmings who are saying yes.
Yeah. Just in terms of the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, we've seen a couple of polls this week, both News Poll, a poll for the West Australians, the Nightly, also Herald poll last week, which shows that Labor is struggling. One of the polls really had Labor behind in WA. You two are very experienced, or the most experienced political operatives in this country. Michael, do you think Labor is slipping so far behind that they might not even get to minority government?
Well, it's possible. They're on 78, and he'll form he won't get 76. He won't get a majority. The best he can do is minority government. But if he loses 11 or 12 or 13 seats, Peter Dutton may well get more seats in the reps than him, and then Dutton is in a position to negotiate with the crossbenchers. Of course, the Greens will support Albanese, but once you get a majority of seats in the reps, as I think Peter Dutton may well do, then it puts pressure on the Teals and the Independents to give him the first crack at getting to 76 seats. And I can see them losing seats in WA, Boothby, one in Tassie, 2 or 3 in Victoria, 2 or 3 or 4 in New South Wales, and maybe one in Queensland and Lingiari. So I can see Albanese going into the high 60s if this continues. He needs to reset his government. The Voice basically killed this government. It's been a slow leakage of support ever since, and now we know with the cost of The Voice, over $500 million, including donations, was spent on this.
Yeah. And
Albanese is seen as too woke, too in the city, and he's losing a lot of support in the suburbs. Western Australia and Queensland.
And a hypocrite with his jet-setting lifestyle.